A2P 10DLC phone registration. In this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know about it, what it is, why it's important, and how to get it set up in your account and your clients' accounts. A lot of people are talking about this right now, and if you've gone through the registration process, then you probably know how important it is to get it set up right the first time. Because if you get it right the first time, you could get approved in a matter of 1 to 2 weeks, but if you mess any part of it up, then it could take 4 to 6 weeks before you're notified that your registration was unsuccessful, and then you have to try again. So make sure to watch this video in its entirety because I'll be going through every detail that you need to know for getting your registration approved on attempt number 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Bryce Newman, and let's get into it. The first couple of questions that most people have are, what is A2P 10DLC registration and why do I have to register? So starting with the basics, A2P stands for application to person, and then 10DLC stands for 10-digit long code. So this A2P 10DLC registration is registering your business phone number so that you can send SMS messages from your business to your prospects and your customers. And these are rules being enacted by the US government and mobile carriers such as Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and others to reduce the amount of spam messages that are being sent by businesses to consumers and to increase the deliverability of text messages from businesses who are using SMS marketing appropriately. So why do you have to register? And I'm going to give you a little bit of background from my limited knowledge and experience with signing up for HighLevel in the past. When I signed up for HighLevel over a year ago, you actually had to get your own Twilio account to send text messages. And this used to be one of the most confusing parts of the sign up process with HighLevel. And so HighLevel did what they do best, and they made it significantly easier by creating something called LC Phone, which stands for Lead Connector Phone. And so when you sign up for a HighLevel account today, this LC Phone is what comes as a default on your account. So you no longer have to go to a third party to get a texting service integrated into your account. It's all one package that comes with your account. But because it was so easy, businesses started to take advantage of this, and they would just sign up for an account, get a phone number, and start sending out mass text messages to all of the people on their list, whether those people opted in to receive text messages or not. And Papa John's actually got in trouble for doing this because they just started texting everyone on their list without getting consent first. So because of all this, you now have to register for A2P to prove that you're a real business and that you're continuing to follow the rules. And when A2P first got announced, there was a lot of fear that businesses weren't going to be able to do SMS marketing anymore. But at the end of the day, I actually think that this is all for the better because there were so many businesses abusing the system, and this is just going to clean up the clutter. So what does this mean for us as agency owners and business owners? At first glance, this could seem like a negative, but I actually view it as an incredibly positive thing. Is it a little bit harder to get set up initially? Sure. But because it's harder, that means that there are millions of businesses who aren't going to take the time to figure it out. So there's going to be less competition in the space, and consumers aren't going to be constantly bombarded with spam messages that are annoying and ruining SMS marketing for the rest of us. So don't stress, because once you follow the steps in this video, you'll know exactly how to get a phone number and get it registered, which means that your agency will be even more valuable compared to all of the businesses that have no idea what they're doing. So let's get into it and look at the 4 options that we have when registering for A2P 10DLC registration. And the 4 options that we have are to register as a business with a tax ID, register as a sole proprietorship, register a toll-free number, or to connect your personal SIM card. In the vast majority of people registering for A2P 10DLC are going to be doing so as a business with a tax ID or as a sole proprietorship. So that's what I'm going to focus on in this video, but I will also briefly explain how to register a toll-free number. I'm not going to be going through how to connect your personal SIM card because most people will not be doing that, and I don't know enough about it to really explain it. So if that's what you're looking for, you're gonna have to find that in a different video. But like I said, the vast majority of people are going to be going through the first two options, and so that's what we're going to cover here. And really quickly, before we dive into the setup process in HighLevel, I want to go over the pros and cons of each of these registration methods. So the first way to register is as a business with a tax ID. So in the US, this would be an EIN. In Canada, this would be a BN9, and they're called different things in different countries, but throughout this video, I'm going to refer to it as a tax ID or an EIN. So registering this way, there's about a $20 one-time setup cost, and then it costs around $2 to $12 per month to maintain your status with the carriers. So the pros of doing it this way are that you're going to get the best deliverability, you're going to be able to send the most messages, and you've got the highest trust with the carriers as long as you continue to follow the rules. However, the cons are that it permanently affects your reputation because it's tied to your EIN or your customer's EIN if you set it up on behalf of them. So if you do something wrong, then it's tied to the business, not just the phone number. The second way to register is as a sole proprietorship, and you would register this way if you're running an agency or running your business, but you don't have a tax ID. And again, the setup cost is going to be around $20 as a one-time fee, but doing it this way, there's no monthly fees associated with it. But if you have a business with a tax ID, you want to make sure to register as a business with a tax ID. You do not want to register as a sole proprietorship, because over time, they're likely going to associate what you're doing with your business, and they'll slowly start to bring down the number of texts that you're able to send, as well as your deliverability rates. So don't think that you can get around those monthly fees or the drawback of having your business's reputation permanently affected by registering as a sole prop and then just burning those numbers, because it's not going to work. The only reason that you should register as a sole proprietorship is if you don't have a tax ID for your business. But the pros of doing it this way are that it's easier to set up and there's no monthly fees. But the cons are that you have less volume, less deliverability, and less trust with the carriers. So then the third way to register for A2P is to get a toll-free number. And this is going to be a number that starts with 800-833-844-855-866-877 or 888. And I'll show you exactly how to get a toll-free number within HighLevel and then go through the setup process. It is a little bit easier, but as we're going to see here, it does have its own pros and cons. So registering a toll-free number, there's no setup cost, and it only costs about $2.15 on a monthly basis to hold on to that number. So the pros of doing it this way are that the registration process isn't quite as tedious, and for the time being, messages will continue to be delivered while the registration is pending, but this is changing soon. So then the cons of doing it this way are that you don't have a local area code, and starting on November 8th, unverified toll-free numbers will not be able to send messages in the US, and it's already been blocked in Canada as well. And then starting on January 31st, 2024, all pending toll-free numbers will be blocked from sending messages to numbers in the US. So that was one of the pros of having a toll-free number, is that even during the verification process, you could still send numbers, but starting January of 2024, that's going away. So that's why I would recommend going with one of the first two options, either registering as a business with a tax ID or registering as a sole proprietorship, and making sure that if you have a business with a tax ID, you register it that way. So let's head on into HighLevel and take a look at how to actually get this set up. And the first thing you want to do inside your account is go into your settings and then click phone numbers. So once you're inside of phone numbers, you're going to see this big red box up here that says your A2P 10DLC registration is incomplete or failed. So you can either click start now here, or we're going to head into the trust center and I'm going to show you how to get it set up there. But if you don't already have a phone number, then you can just get one here where it says add number, and then add number, and then you can choose based on your area code, or if you want to filter and get just a toll-free number, you would switch these off and apply. But if you want a phone number with your area code, then leave those checked, turn toll-free off, and now you can search and get a phone number with your area code. So that's how you get a phone number. But to register the phone number, we're going to head into the Trust Center and we're going to click Start Registering Now. And now we're going to go through the process of actually registering our phone number for A2P registration. In this first screen that you see here is where you choose if you're located in the US or Canada. So if you're in the US or Canada, you leave this as checked yes. If you're outside of these countries, then you would click no. And then here's where you choose if you're registering as a business with a tax ID or as a sole proprietorship. So if you have a tax ID, which again in the US that's known as an EIN, in Canada it's known as a BN9, and in other countries it has different names. But if you have a tax ID, then you're gonna wanna click yes. And so I'm gonna go ahead and register as a business with a tax ID in this video. And then once I have these selected, how I'm registering, then I'm gonna click continue. And now I enter the business details of my business, and I wanna make sure that these match exactly as they show up in my documentation that I received when I set up my business. And so this is what goofs a lot of people up in this process, is they'll enter their business name, but they don't have it show up exactly how it shows up in the documents. You wanna make sure that you're replicating the business name to a T as it shows up in the documents. That means getting the spaces right, getting the commas right, getting the periods right. Every little detail here in this legal business name matters. So you can see that the example they have is Lead Connector Inc. But if on the documents Inc. had a period after it, you want to make sure that you put that period after Inc. So what I would recommend doing here for the legal business name is finding the document that was sent to you when your business was created, going into it and copying and pasting that here instead of typing it in here. Because if you make any mistake, that could be the difference between you getting approved in a week versus you getting rejected in 4 to 6 weeks and then having to redo this entire process. So make sure that this matches here. So now I've filled out all of my information here. I put my legal business name. I put that it's a limited liability company. I've got an EIN because I'm doing business out of the US. I put my EIN here. The business industry I selected is technology because I'm running a SaaS agency. And then I put my business email, my website URL, and then business region of operations. Select any of these countries or continents that you plan on doing business in potentially. And then click continue. And it auto-populated this information from my account. So I'm just gonna go through and make sure that all of this looks good. So United States, California, 1234 Demo Street, city Demo, and postal code. Everything looks good, so I'm gonna click continue. And here in authorized representative, if you're the owner of this company or LLC or whatever you're setting up here, then you're gonna put your name here. Make sure to put your legal name if that's how it shows up on your business documents. So I'm gonna enter all that here. Make sure to enter the business phone number that you're registering here, and then choose your job position and click continue. And now it gives you the option for low volume standard or high volume standard. And most businesses are going to be registering for low volume standard. This gives you up to 6,000 segments per day. Most businesses don't need 600,000 segments per day. So you're most likely going to click low volume standard and then click that you acknowledge that you're going to be charged a one-time fee, $20.95. And then you can be charged up to $12 per month. But realistically, depending on your uses, it's probably going to fall closer to $2 to $4 per month. So then you're going to click continue and you're going to enter the campaign use case. And if you have a different use case, depending on how you're using this, you select whichever one best fits your uses. But I'm going to go ahead and select low volume mixed because I'm going to be using this number for a variety of reasons. And then here in use case description, you're going to want to explain how you're going to be using this phone number inside of your business. So they've got an example here that says this campaign sends appointment information, confirmation and reminder messages to our customers once they've booked an appointment with us or on our website and opted in to receive promotional and notification SMS from us. And so you want to describe exactly how your business is going to be using this number. And there are a variety of examples. If you click see example here, then you can read through these other examples that HighLevel provides. And if they fit what you're doing inside of your business, then you can just copy and paste. And if multiple of them fit, then you just copy multiple of them and paste. And then I'm gonna just copy all three because I'm going to be using this campaign to send appointment information. I'm gonna be using it to reach out to customers who have signed up for updates, and it's gonna be used by salespeople to reach out to their clients who have opted in to receive messages. So if all those fit your business, put them all. If there's more uses that you're gonna be using this number for, make sure to include those here. And then you actually want to put sample messages of messages that you're gonna be sending to your customers. So again, they've got example messages and you can click see examples. And if this is something that you're going to send to your customer, then you can copy this and paste it and then change it up to fit exactly how you're going to send messages to your customers. So in this case, I would put, hey John, this is Bryce from Pasco Systems. Our appointment for July 20th, 11 a.m. is confirmed. Please reach out to this number in case you need to reschedule. Reply stop to unsubscribe. You want to make sure that you leave this in here because that's what they're looking for on this first message, is that you've got a way for your customers to opt out of messages if they don't want to receive them anymore. And then you want to make sure that this option is in your messages that you're sending to your customers, because they will go in and submit forms to get those automatic messages from you, and they'll make sure that it's got that reply stop to unsubscribe in the first message that they're receiving. So once you have this written and you've got this reply stop to unsubscribe in there, once you're done, make sure you go into your automations or toggle the switch in your automatic replies that turns this on, but make sure you have this in the messages that you're actually sending. And then we'll go down and include a sample message too, and we'll just example message and copy this, paste this. Hello, is this the office of Dr. Leah? We're confirming your appointment tomorrow at 9 a.m. Please reply stop to cancel. And again, make sure that this is in your message. Make sure that this portion is in here and it's in the messages that you're sending. And you can change up the rest of this to fit exactly what messages you're sending. And you shouldn't just be copying these and pasting these and leaving them. You want to actually make these the messages that you're sending. And then once you're all done with this, go in and then make sure that the website you're telling them to go to check your A2P registration has a form that sends these exact messages when they sign up on that form. So then moving on, we're going to go down here and the message will include embedded links and the message will include phone numbers. I'm going to leave these checked on. Even if the messages that you're sending right now may not have these, I would recommend just leaving these on in case any messages do have them. Then you've already covered all your bases and you're allowed to put embedded links and phone numbers. I did this when I got registered and I was approved within a week, so I would just leave these on and then click continue. And now we're going to go through how the users actually consent to receive messages from us. And again, HighLevel makes this super easy. We can see examples, we can copy this and we can paste it, and then we go through end user opts in by visiting, and you want to make sure that you change this to your website. So what I would recommend doing here is, instead of typing this out because they're gonna go to this website and they're gonna check, I would bring up the website here, make sure that it links to the right website, and then copy and paste the URL directly from this bar into this portion of the message, because they're gonna use that, they're gonna check. And then make sure that that website has a form, and that form has a box on it that allows the users to consent to receiving messages from you. So then continue to describe. Users check a box to receive notifications and provide their consent. Additionally, they can also text start to, and then I would put your number. And then in the opt-in keywords, use whatever keywords that you're using to allow users to subscribe to your texting services. So if you're using start and subscribe or join, that's what you're going to put here. And then the opt-in message is the message that they receive from you as soon as they get this initial message saying that they're opted in. And again, you want to make sure that it has this please reply stop if you need to opt out in the future. And you can copy this example here and paste it, and then change this to the actual message that you're sending to your customers when they sign up. So it's not enough to just go through and copy and paste all of these things throughout this process. You want to actually make sure that you're sending the messages that will be received by customers when they sign up. So we're going to go through that setup process very quickly here and how you can do that for your business to make sure that you get approved the first time that you're sending this. But as soon as you do have all this filled out and everything lines up correctly, then you're gonna click submit, and it's gonna submit this for verification and then it could take anywhere from 1 to 6 weeks to get verified. But because this is my demo account, I'm gonna click cancel and I'm gonna exit out of all this, and I'm going to briefly show you how to get all this set up so that it's sending those exact text messages. So the first thing you're gonna do is head into your forms. So here in the Sites tab, Forms, Builder, we're gonna create a new form. And on this form, we're collecting full name, email, phone number, and button. And you can see here that we've got this box that says, I agree to terms and conditions provided by the company. By providing my phone number, I agree to receive text messages from the business. If you don't see this on your form when you put a phone number on here, you wanna scroll down here in the elements and you wanna make sure that this TNC is on there. And that's the terms and conditions, and because it's already on there, it didn't put a new one. But when you put a phone number on here, it should automatically show up. But in case it doesn't, make sure that this terms and conditions is on the form that you're putting on the website that you're telling the people to go to through this registration process. So we're gonna save this form, and it's just gonna be form 10. And then we're gonna go into our websites, and I've already got this demo website. So we're gonna edit this, and I've already got a bunch of stuff on here, but what I would do is I would add a new section, add a row, add an element, and we're gonna click form. And then in our forms, we're gonna select that form that we just created. And so now you can see that this form auto-populates on this website. It's got this terms and conditions button that when they input their phone number, they're agreeing to receive texts from us. And now we're going to save this. And in our registration process, on that website that we tell them to go to, we now have this website created with this form. And so we would go into our settings and we would link the domain here, but I don't have a domain because this is my demo account. But then once we've got that set up, we would go to that page and then copy and paste the URL, and that's what we would put in the registration portion. So you can see how all of this is tied together, and you want to make sure that the form has the appropriate elements on the website that you're sending them to. And then we would go into automation and make sure that we're just going to create a workflow really quick, start from scratch, and make sure that a new trigger is going to be form submitted. And we're going to add a filter, select form is, and then that form that we just created is form 10. And we're going to save that trigger. And so now as soon as form 10 is submitted on that website, we're going to click add, and we're going to send an SMS. And then here in the SMS, we want to write out that message that we're sending to them, word for word, what we put in the registration. And so once the message matches exactly what we put in the registration form, then we're gonna save this and save this workflow. And now we've got the form created properly. We've got the form on the website. We've copied and pasted the URL of the website into the registration. So we're sending them to the correct place. And we've got automation running. So as soon as they submit that form, it sends them a text message that matches exactly what we put in this registration. And the last step of this process is to make sure that that portion of the message that says, please reply stop to unsubscribe is in that message. So to do that, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go into our settings, business profile, and scroll to the bottom. And we wanna make sure that these two boxes here that say make SMS compliant by adding an opt-out message and make SMS compliant by adding sender information are both checked on. And if we need to customize them to match what we put in the registration, we can click customize and do that here. But again, you want to make sure that this matches exactly what we put in that registration. So we had it as reply stop to unsubscribe. So everything's good, but that is the entire process from start to finish of getting A2P 10DLC registered and getting it set up right the first time. And then the very last thing that we're gonna do here, because I promised you that I would show you how to do it, is we're going to get a toll-free number set up, and I'm gonna show you exactly how you would go about registering it for A2P. So we're back here in our settings and phone numbers, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a number and click add number, and then in filter, we're going to, under number type, uncheck local and mobile so that we just have toll-free numbers showing up, and we would apply that. And then to get a toll-free number, you would just select that, and then you would proceed to buy. I'm not gonna proceed to buy one right now because I don't need a toll-free number, but if you get a toll-free number, you proceed to buy it. And then what would happen is once you've got that number, it's gonna auto-populate right here, and then you would come over here and click these 3 dots, click number info, and it's not going to show up here because this isn't a toll-free number. But if you get a toll-free number, you click those 3 dots and you click number info, then you would have a section that auto-populates here that shows you how to register your toll-free number for A2P. So it looks something like this, and it would say toll-free verification. It would have a yellow required box by it, and then you would just click start registration and go through this same process. It's not quite as intensive as registering as a business with a tax ID or a sole proprietorship, but you would enter some of the same information, but that's how you get to it right there. So there you have it. That's the full setup process for getting A2P 10DLC registered for either a business with a tax ID, a sole proprietorship, or a toll-free number. And again, registering as a sole proprietorship would be the exact same process that I went through in this video. You just wouldn't have to enter some of the information such as your EIN or other business information. But other than that, same process. And then there at the end, we went through registering a toll-free number. So that's everything you need to know to get set up and get it right the first time, so that you don't have to waste multiple weeks or months going through this process, realizing that you didn't get verified, and then having to go through the entire process again. So if you found this video helpful, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Subscribe to this channel for more content like this that I'm releasing every single week. And if you want to learn how to build your own successful SaaS agency in the least amount of time possible, I do have multiple courses that I give away for free to all of my affiliates that has trainings like this, along with so much other information that teaches you how to create your own successful SaaS agency in the shortest amount of time possible. The first course is called SaaS Agency Secrets, where I go through and show you how to structure your SaaS agency. The second course is called SaaS from Scratch, and this is a course where I documented every step of my journey of creating my own SaaS agency. So I give it to you and show you exactly how to create a SaaS agency from scratch, everything from setting up your logo and domain, all the way through to creating courses and getting your business Facebook page set up and automating your business and creating websites and funnels and everything in between that you need to know. And then finally, I've got an onboarding tutorial course that I give to you to use as your own course so that you can start landing clients and getting them set up with the software as quickly as possible. So if you want all that, go ahead and click the link below. That's my affiliate link. Get signed up under me, and then you get all of that for free. If you want more free training, I'm releasing videos on YouTube every single week. I'll link to a few here, but I hope this video helped, and I'll see you in the next video.